than 2 days until CDM playoffs start, so it's time for our official CDM playoff tier list. I didn't do any tier list to finish off the regular season because we already had the playoff teams decided, so there's not really much point in making a tier list of teams that were half already gone. We're going to go ahead and hop into things right here. We're going to end up changing the names of a lot of these. Obviously, we have our bye tier teams that have already been eliminated. We're going to go ahead, once again, bottom to top. I'm going to rename this one Help. No, it needs to be all caps. Help, no. That's where X-Rock is going right now. Nobody on X-Rock has been remotely consistent outside of No. I don't think they stand much of a chance. They have a decent search and destroy and a solid crossfire, and that's kind of their map pool. They did all right in their decider matches and everything. They're a solid team. I don't see them finishing above 5th or 6th. I just don't see it happening. Next up, we've got... It's really... I feel like Godlike and SPG are low-key kind of tied right here. I think Godlike are overall probably the stronger team. I'm going to name this... Get ready to learn. Oh my god, I can't type now that I'm recording. Respawns, buddy. That's where we're going to put SPG. SPG's respawns have been very, very below average. They have one good control map in Raid. Outside that, they have struggled across the board. They have been as close as you can get to S&D merchants. And that is going to make it very difficult for them to win series. And they haven't even been the best search and destroy team. So I think SPG are in a tougher spot than Godlike are. Overall, I would say that's probably where I would put them. Once again, some of these tiers are not necessarily going to be one's better than the other. Some of them are just going to be just there, you know? Next up, we got Godlike. I'm going to title this one, Depends on the Day. Depends on the day. It really depends on what Godlike shows up. Is it going to be the Godlike that we saw beat Q9 3 times in a row last time around? Is it going to be the Godlike that gets absolutely mollywopped by the top 3 teams? I think that they are capable of making it into top 4. I think they should make it top 4. It's just a question of which Godlike shows up. Which also brings us to... didn't mean to do that. It brings us to an additional... Oh my gosh, quit doing that. We need a new row. Add a row above. The row is going to be named X Factor. As you guys probably notice, I do have some players down here as well. I've got 2 players that I'm throwing into X Factor. I've got Skull Guy and I've got Wrath. I think both of them are players that if they have a phenomenal tournament, their team's capable of going to the championship. I think if those 2 guys have a bad tournament, their teams are ultimately going to have a very bad tournament as a result. I think those are the 2 guys that have the biggest need to succeed just because of the impact they are capable of having, but also because of how much their teams struggle whenever they don't play at their best. So I'm gonna throw them. I'll throw them like right there. Once again, the positioning of these tiers doesn't really mean a whole lot. Moving on, we've got. And once again, this is where people are going to start crying about Bobby having opinions backed up by facts, and that's just the reality of the situation. I think overall, OUG had the better argument for a strong season as compared to Q9. So this one, I'm going to title Land Warriors. It's really a question of how much of it was them being Land Warriors and how much of it was just nobody else really being up to the task last season. I think Q9 are going to be really strong. I'm not sure overall if their strength is what it has been. But once again, they've dominated on land so many times before. It's tough to really count them out in any scenario. Adding another row above right here. This row is going to be do or die. That's where OUG goes. I have OUG. Overall, they had the better record against the top teams. They had better numbers. They had a win versus Wolves. Q9 did not have any wins versus Wolves. They had a win versus Q9. They had a very strong record in both Stage 1 and Stage 2. I think they ended up pretty much the same match record as Q9, if I remember correctly, and maybe some more convincing wins. Also, Q9 getting 3-0'd by Wolves second time around. I think even though they did end up beating OUG in that second matchup, I think you give OUG a little bit of an edge. And OUG just have way more to lose right here. Q9 and Wolves, for the most part, have their spots locked in, barring SPG or X-Rock doing something crazy right here. So really for OUG, they have uprooted their lives, gone to a different country, and are trying to make the impossible happen. That's why I have OUG above Q9 in my tier list. Next up, you know what? Actually, let me go like right here at a row above. This is going to be titled Help Me. And obviously that's going to be the one and only no. Okay. I am also going to throw in Oh man. I might have to go through and make a full-on player tier list, but for the time being, we got to make do with what we have right here. We've also got Uling. We're just going to make an Emperor. I can't spell. I don't know what it is when I start trying to type while recording a video. It's anything that I have ever known just goes out the window. Next up, obviously, we got number one. Nobody's surprised to see them. They improved that top spot. Final boss, honestly, Zai and Wolves are both going in here. I think Zai just has earned the right to have his own tier altogether. So Zai is final boss, and also Wolves are final boss. Or throw them up there. And then I had Tech in here. I'm gonna do it. His title is going to be I am the OBJ. All right. Tectonic, the OBJ king. Far and away the best OBJ stats of the season. Not even close with anybody else. He is the anchor for that OUG team. He's going to be consistent regardless. Might not necessarily dominate in the S&D, but he is the OBJ. This is our tier list for CDM 10 playoffs. Less than 2 days. We got a lot of pressure on these guys. Thanks for playing. You guys will be missed. Hope you guys enjoyed. Drop a like if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be pumping out videos on this channel once again, once playoffs get started. See you guys in a couple days.